You are now listening to the Building Her Dream podcast, where we have inspiring conversations with introverted women entrepreneurs who are building their dream lives and businesses on their own terms. Hosted by business operations strategist, author, and the founder of Building Her Dream, Shayla Burtin. To learn more about this podcast and our magazine, visit www.buildingherdream.com. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the Building Her Dream podcast. I'm your host, Shayla Burtin, lifelong introvert and advocate for all the quiet powerhouses building their empires one thoughtful step at a time. In this mini episode, we're going to tackle a topic that is incredibly important, yet often overlooked: energy management. If you've ever felt like there are just not enough hours in the day, or found yourself utterly drained by trying to balance a business with your personal life, then this episode is for you. Energy is our most precious resource, not time. And for us introverts, managing it can be quite challenging. It's all about aligning our efforts with our internal clock, embracing the rhythms that cater to our deepest reserves of focus and creativity. So I'm going to share some practical techniques designed to help you steer clear of burnout and cultivate a work-life harmony that respects your introverted need for recharging in solitude. All right, so let's kick things off by defining what we mean when we talk about energy management. Energy management isn't just about powering through your to-do list until you're run down. It's more about understanding when and where you use your energy throughout the day and how it affects both your work and personal life. Imagine you're a car. The gas in your tank is the energy that you have for the entire day. Every task that you do, from working on your business, answering emails, even making yourself a cup of tea, all those tasks uses up a drop of that gas. Just like a car, if you keep driving without refilling, eventually your gas will run out. And that's when you may start to feel tired, stressed out, or in more serious cases, burnt out. So, managing energy is about being mindful of how we use our gas. It's about aligning our activities with the times when we have the most fuel in our tank. For introverts, this can be a little trickier. We often need more quiet times or pit stops to recharge and refill our tanks. If we ignore these and just keep going, we risk running out of energy and heading towards that burnout. And burnout is not a place that we want to visit. It can make us feel overwhelmed and just unable to enjoy what we love doing. So it's important for us to understand our energy levels and listen to our bodies and minds when they tell us that it's time to take a rest. By doing this, we can help to maintain a better, more productive balance between our work and personal lives. Now that we understand what energy is, we need to know how energy management connects with being introverted and having a balanced life between work and personal needs. As introverts, our energy fuel tanks may look a little bit different from those of extroverts. You see, we tend to need more alone time to recharge or refuel our tanks. And that's because, unlike extroverts who gain energy from social events or big group discussions, introverts often get their energy from quieter activities like reading, writing, or simply curling up with a cup of tea and our thoughts. When introverts don't manage their energy well, it could lead to problems in balancing their work and personal lives. So imagine running a race with only a half a tank of gas. You'd get tired much faster, wouldn't you? And that's exactly what could happen. You might find yourself feeling overwhelmed with work and not having enough energy left to do the things you love in your personal life, like spending time with family and friends or partaking in a favorite hobby. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Recognizing these patterns is the first steps towards managing them better. Signs to look out for could include feeling constantly tired, being unable to concentrate, or feeling like you never have enough time for yourself. But remember this, it's not about working harder, but working smarter. And sometimes smarter means taking a break when you need to so that you can come back even stronger. All right, let's roll up our sleeves and get into the good stuff. The actual techniques that you can use to manage your energy like a boss. First of all, planning is your friend. Every Sunday evening, take 10 minutes to look at the week ahead. Jot down the big things that you need to do for work and also fun stuff that you want to do for yourself. This way, you make sure that you have a balance between work tasks and personal time on your calendar. Next, let's talk about taking breaks. Now, it might feel strange to stop when there's so much to do, but taking short breaks, like a 5-minute walk or just stepping outside for some fresh air, can actually make you more productive when you get back to work. Let's also consider quiet time. Since us introverts recharge in silence, it's super important to set aside time for peace and quiet every day. This could look like reading, meditating, or even daydreaming. Anything that helps your engine cool down and your tank fill back up. Delegating is another awesome technique. Sometimes we need to remember we're not superheroes. There's only so much energy in our tank, and it's okay to ask for help. Whether it's at home or at work, giving some tasks to others can keep you from running on empty. Then there's the art of just saying no. Now, this one can be really tough, but it's important to protect your energy. Just like you can't fill up everyone else's car with your tank of gas and still drive far, you can't agree to everything and do everything and still keep your tank full. Saying no is basically like making sure you have enough gas for your most important trips. And last but not least, know your peak times. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Save your most important work for those times when you know that your energy is at its best. By practicing some or all of these techniques, you'll be on the road to better energy management in no time. Okay, now that we've just discussed some techniques, let's zero in on your personal energy cycles. That's just a fancy way of saying finding out the best times that you feel super energized and the times that you might need a little R&R. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you're just on fire, like you could conquer the world and then some? And then other times it's like your brain is just wrapped up in a cozy blanket, begging for a break. That's what an energy cycle is all about. So, why is paying attention to this cycle such a big deal? Well, imagine your body and your brain have their own invisible batteries. If you keep using them without paying attention to how much power is left, eventually they won't work as well. You need to charge up your batteries at the right times. And it's the same way you know how to charge up your phone when it hits 10%. So let's break down some simple steps for riding the energy cycle like a pro. Step 1, track it. For a few days, write down the times you feel like you could take on the world and the times that you feel more like taking on a nap. Look for patterns. Maybe you're a morning person who gets sleepy after lunch, or maybe you get a burst of energy after dinner. Step 2, plan with it. Once you figured out your high battery and low battery times, schedule the tougher stuff when you're full of juice. Save the easier, more relaxing tasks for the lower energy times. Step 3, be flexible. Some days the cycle might shift a bit, and that's okay. Maybe you had a late night movie marathon and you're just not at full strength in the morning. Adjust your day a bit if you can so that you're still matching tasks to your best battery levels. And step 4, rest without guilt. Remember, even smartphones need to shut down and update sometimes. If you're feeling low on power, give yourself a timeout. It's not lazy, it's smart. Because when you do come back, you'll come back with all systems go. So it does take a little work to balance on your energy cycle, but once you get the hang of it, it makes all the difference. Well, we've reached the end of our energy journey together in today's mini episode. We've covered what energy management means, how it connects to introversion, and shared some super techniques to keep your energy tank from hitting empty. We even talked about the importance of knowing your own energy cycles, those personal patterns of high and low energy that everyone has. It's like knowing when to push the pedal to the metal and when to ease off and cruise. As we wrap up, remember that managing your energy isn't a race. It's more like a dance, and every dancer has their own rhythm. You've got to find out what works best for you. So try out the tips we've talked about today, whether it's planning your week, taking breaks, delegating tasks, learning to say no without feeling bad, or matching your to-do list to your personal energy cycles. Applying these techniques will not only help keep your energy in check, but I'm betting they'll make you happier, healthier, and ready to take on the world in your unique, introverted way. This has been another episode of the Building Her Dream podcast. If you've enjoyed it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe, leave us a review, and stay up to date with what we're doing by visiting www.buildingherdream.com.